Hi guys, this is Matthias, and I'm coming at you here with another H1Z1 video, and this video might actually be a little bit controversial compared to, the normal content that I have been uploading lately, because the video is about seat switching, and I gotta say, when I first got killed by this and I saw this on streams and whatnot, I was like, these guys, they gotta be pretty damn good. I mean, these guys know what they're doing, because this, I thought it was rather difficult. And then I started doing it myself, and I quickly changed my mind about it. So let me now just quickly share some of my initial reactions when I first started doing this. That's fucking harder. Holy shit, that glitch is fucking retarded. I know, it's fucking retarded. So yeah, I could have used a better choice of words, of course, but I guess you get the picture. Now, we're still using the same weapons, of course, so how well you handle those weapons is of course going to be very deciding when you're doing this. But I don't know, there's something about seat switching that, I guess it's just a placebo effect, but I feel like it's easier to handle the weapon when I'm still sitting in the car. Now, seat switching is nothing new to gaming. The same techniques were used in the Battlefield games, and the same technique is also used in Planetside 2, and I'm sure in a lot of other games as well. Now, as much as the games that I mentioned has also had a lot of balance issues, the seat switching in a lot of these other games, depending on what vehicle it was, of course, it required a lot more from the player. It took a lot longer to learn, and if you were not a good player using that specific vehicle, especially if it was an aircraft, then you would have no use for the technique of seat switching. And in my opinion, that is not the case with seat switching in H1Z1. Now, of course, it's going to make a big difference how good you are at shooting in general, but the seat switching per se does not really require any specific skill, so to speak. And the way I see it, it doesn't really have its own learning curve. And I guess one of the reasons for that is that driving a car in H1Z1 isn't meant to be hard in any way. You're not really supposed to have to learn how to drive. It's merely just the transportation. Even though everyone in the H1Z1 community agrees that I am by far the best driver that ever played this game. Oops. Now, it's kind of a funny thing with H1Z1 when you come from its older brother Planetside 2 is that this game has basically no balance discussions whatsoever. And I can assure you, even if you would bring up every discussion that has ever been had in this game about balance, it doesn't even come close to even a percentage of Planetside 2. It doesn't compare. It is so different. But since I was part of a lot of these discussions in Planetside 2, one of the things that I know, there's a certain pattern here, and that is that the players that will defend something that is a little bit overpowered or that can easily be abused, yeah, the people that defend that are the people that abuse it the most. Now, this is a pattern that I have seen in basically every game. And since I believe that there are quite a number of players that are getting quite a lot of kills by using this technique, those players, they probably want to be able to keep doing that. Which means that this video might not be all that popular among said players. Now, I also noticed that since I started doing this and since I started uploading a little bit of footage of seat switching, I have received quite a bit of negative reactions from it, both on my channel and in-game. Now, I understand that when I make a video like this and when I say the things that I do, I come across as a person that has very strong opinions about this myself. Fact of the matter is, I don't really. And yes, I think this is something that is a bit too strong. I think it's a bit overpowered. I think something needs to be done about it. But it's not like a major issue. It's like, again, Planetside 2, this is nothing compared to that game. Now, after the camera angle was changed for the third-person view, I had some major problems with this, actually. And most of this footage, I believe, is recorded after that change took place, since this is something that is relatively new to me. So now one of the ways that you can counter this is, as you saw me attempt to do there, which is trying to get all the way behind the car, because you can't angle far enough to be able to shoot somebody that is straight behind you. Now in order to maximize the effect of this, you might want to check out how much you can turn in what direction from what seat. Now if you end up in the left back seat, you actually can't turn all that much backwards to the left. However, you can turn almost all the way backwards if you turn to the right. So basically the way you want to do this is that if your opponent is going to end up on your right side, you want to hit Control 3, which is going to put you in the left back seat. And that way, even if you pass your opponent on your right side, most likely will you still be able to turn far enough to be able to kill him. Now this video is full of mistakes, and it's full of situations when I switch to the wrong seat. But regardless of that, in most situations it doesn't even matter. But there are situations where I've actually died because of that. You also want to keep in mind that whenever you're driving on uneven terrain, like when you're not on a road, you actually can't aim all that much up. So yeah, if your opponent is in an elevated position compared to you, that might cause a lot of problems. Now, since I know that there are at least some players that get a little bit upset over the fact that I'm doing this, let me just say that when you are a content creator, you need material in order to create your content. And the only way I can gather that is by, like in this case, seat switching. Fact of the matter is that this goes for a lot of different features in the game. The explosive tipped arrows, for example, is one of the things that I have used in a lot of situations when I really shouldn't. And that's because the moment I get them, I really want to get some material with them, and I shoot with them even though I know that it would have been better to use, let's say, the AR. It's just that the AR I have so much material of anyway. So yeah, some of you guys might not think about it, but being a YouTuber as I am, it actually does affect the way I play quite a lot. So yeah, what do you think about seat switching? Is this something that you want to have nerfed one way or another? Or is this a legit way of playing the game that should be kept the way it is? And whatever you think about it, you should share it with the rest of the community. And one of the places where you can do that is, of course, in the comment section below this video. So yeah, with that, I would like to say thank you all for watching. That strategy is strong.